Hey everyone, so I just upgraded my Sony Xperia XZ to Android 7, Android Nougat. So I figured it was a good time to do comparison versus the Google Pixel XL, which is also on Android 7 Nougat. Now the Pixel XL actually a little bit higher firmware, rather a little bit higher software update. It's on 7.1 versus 7 for the Sony Xperia XZ. So let's get started and power both phones on at the same time. So with the Pixel phone, you're always going to be getting those day one updates. Because that it's probably always going to be a little bit ahead of other major phones in terms of software. So this is a speed test. We're doing the boot up test first, and in terms of internals, so the Pixel does have a slight edge, Snapdragon 821 with 4 GB of RAM, versus on the Sony Xperia XZ, Snapdragon 820 and 3 GB of RAM. And we'll discuss more the specs throughout the video. You see here Pixel first one to boot up. And the Sony not far behind. Alright, so make sure everything's closed out. Alright guys, so like usual, I'll plan for video, app opening, game opening, web browsing, fingerprint scanner, multitasking, camera speed, and more. Yeah, so first we'll look at Tempo Run 2. Alright, so you see the Pixel getting off to a pretty impressive start here. As you see, the Snapdragon 821 definitely at play. And winning this one by a few seconds. But let's see how more of the other apps go. Alright, so next up is CNN. And that one goes to Sony. Next up is iFunny. Again, Sony there. YouTube. Again, Sony here. Alright, next up, calculator. About the same. Clock. eBay. Pretty close. Asphalt 8. So yeah, the Pixel XL does have a slightly larger screen, 5.5 inches, also high resolution at 434 pixels per inch. The Sony Xperia XZ by comparison, as you see here, the Pixel first one to boot up the game. Sony Xperia XZ, although I do have to say for Asphalt 8, the games are on slightly different versions. Sony Xperia XZ 5.2 inch screen, 424 pixels per inch, that's 1080p. Next up, let's check out photos. Pixel there. ESPN. I think that was Sony, but I wasn't looking at both of them at the same time. Settings. Alright, and I'll show you the Antutu benchmark. So as here, Google Pixel XL score of 140,426. Now with the Sony, I did rerun this after upgrading to Android 7. See score of 146,561. And let's just do a few more things. I'll try to keep the video a little shorter than normal. We can go on to, so we'll take some pictures first. So rear facing camera of 23 megapixels on the Sony, rear facing of 12 on the Google Pixel. Try it again. Alright, so you do have more megapixels again on the Sony. Both of them are on maximum resolution. Just to show you the Sony right there. Alright, so it looks like for the most part Pixel a little bit faster. Alright, let's check out some more. We'll do Chrome really quickly. I don't want to spend too much time on that. Let's just go to a couple sites. Just thinking of some new sites. I know you guys say to next time just to delete the internet history. I'll definitely do that in the future. Let's do Penn State. Alright, so you saw they're faster on Google. Let's do Yale. And that one was faster on Sony. And we'll do one more. We'll just do a tiebreaker. So we can do Columbia. Actually, I think I already went there. Let's do Rice. Alright, and it actually goes to a 404 site, but, well, I mean, the Sony was the first one loaded up. We'll do one more, and then we'll move on to multitasking after that. Let's just do Queens. City I live in. Let's do queens.gov or whatever comes up first. Alright, sure, Queens College. Alright, so that one went first to Sony, so Sony did win the web browsing, 3 out of 4. We'll do multitasking. Alright, so I'm interested to see with Sony if they've improved the multitasking at all on Android 7. Alright, so let's go back to the beginning. Let's see Temple Run 2. Yeah, and it looks like for both of them, it's going to restart from the beginning. Alright, let's see some more. CNN. Actually, oops. Sorry guys, messing this up. Let's do YouTube. Alright, so that one faster on Google. Let's do eBay. Looked a tad bit faster on Google. Let's do photos. And ESPN. Alright, so doing pretty well on these last few for both devices. Let's bring back up camera. And we'll do one more. We'll go back to Chrome. Alright, so I mean, I think Sony definitely started picking up towards the end there. Towards the beginning though, kind of weak for both of them, honestly. So just in terms of some more of the specs. So I've already mentioned the screen size, the front or rear facing camera, front facing camera, better on the Sony, 13 megapixels versus 8 on the Pixel. In terms of internal storage on the Pixel, 32 or 128. On the Sony, 32 or 64, although on the Sony you do have micro SD card support, on the Pixel you don't. Battery is larger on the Pixel XL, 3450 versus 2000 on the Sony. I've also found that the Pixel battery life is better overall. Again, Snapdragon 821, 4GB RAM on the Pixel, Snapdragon 820 and 3GB RAM on the Sony. The Sony does have dual front-facing speakers, the Pixel is not. The Sony also has waterproofing, the Pixel is not. Both have fingerprint scanners. On the Sony it's on the side, on the Pixel it's on the back. And I don't currently have it enabled for the Sony because if you have the American version like myself, you have to go through a process in order to actually get it activated. So for the Pixel XL, gonna cost around $769. For the Sony XZ, gonna cost around $650. And in terms of build quality, so the Sony mostly made out of metal, aluminum, and the Pixel XL metal and glass. See glass up here. Both USB Type-C at the bottom, and both do fingerprint scanners. Alright guys, so let me know what you guys think in terms of the speed. Let me know if you think that the Sony Xperia XZ improved at all with the update. And I will of course be doing more updates in the future. We'll also be doing more comparisons with the XZ against other phones on Android 7. Alright guys, thanks again. Please subscribe for more in the future, and let me know in the comments what video you want to see next.